Hello one, hello all. It is the gothiest ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh. Now it's time for a review of Joey Badass 2000. Joey Badass, if you didn't know, is a Brooklyn rapper, pretty much taking on the style of boombap, jazz rap, and some pop raps on here too. Yeah, he ventures out into that lane. And some is good, some isn't too good. And let's take a little detour into Joey's catalog, shall we? When he first hit the scene, it was with his mixtape, 1999, which I felt was a good project. I don't think it's as good as people hype it up to be. I don't think it's a classic, but I do feel there's highlights on there. Mainly, I feel it's weighed down to studying too much on certain subject matters I may not align with, such as toxicity towards women and all that. I feel it focuses too much on that on the back half, and not too many tracks really hit as hard as the highlights on there. And I kind of feel the same way about this one, but we will get into that. But I do want to give Joey his flowers. I do think Before the Money is a great album. I do feel Amerikkkan Badass is a great album. Fantastic album. His best one, in my opinion, taking on subject matters of injustice towards Black people, injustice within the political spectrum, criticisms of inner city issues, you know? So, and I feel like he did it in a very nuanced way. I do feel like he uses a soulful approach on this one, but in a very nuanced way. And I definitely love that. I love how the bars hit on there, the hooks hit on there, very consistently hard hitting. Now, with this one, there are highlights. I do feel also the question is, was this worth the wait? And yeah, I do think it was worth the wait. I do think it's a decent project. You definitely get some hard-hitting bars on here too, whether it's when he's flexing, whether it's reflecting on how he came to be the rapper he is today, protecting himself, enjoying the fruits of his success, and also heavy emotional critiques on the losses that he's had too. This album definitely reflects and commentates on losses and gains. And within that, there is the realization that making the wrong moves could make you lose it all, which I do feel is a theme that runs through on here. But there are certain choices on here that I do feel kind of make the quality inconsistent, whether it be the features, whether it be production choices, or just not hitting as hard as the highlights. And don't get me wrong, in certain pockets, Joey comes through with some hard bars on here. Like, definitely showing his lyrical defiance. Whether it's gotta spread love, though, because it's a lot of hatred. No, it's a marathon, and these motherfuckers racist. Also, I do love how Joey is showing a mix of spirituality on here. Love, lust, success, struggles, loss of loved ones. Like, he's very various when it comes to the subject matters on here. I just wish there was more variation within that. And you definitely get your fair share of boom bap on here. You get your fair share of jazz rap on here, and pop rap as well, which I feel kind of takes a nosedive, really paying homage to the 2000s, early 2000s, whether that be an underground style rap album, whether that be a mainstream style rap album. But I do feel like there is some 90s lore on here to be had, if I'm being honest. But yeah, the highlights on here cannot be ignored. Like, with the slick performance of Back Where I Belong, where he's showing you the joys of life he's received through his success and being protected at the same time and having the nagging thought that it could be taken away just like that. Also, I love the bars like, the past and future don't exist. I know it's foul, but never focused on the present. Know my presence is a gift. Just so happen to be good at rapping. That would be my niche. And wordplay like that. Joey definitely has the wordplay on here. That is definitely a given. Eulogy is great as well. I feel like this is the moment where the throwback vibe pretty much lands within the Illmatic spectrum. Or maybe the Stillmatic spectrum, but no. More like Illmatic, which is 90s into 2000s, but still, it's tastefully done. That is a given. I love the dreamy, jazzy chords on this. I do love the textures within the production. And again, addressing the inner city struggles and how people have the illusion of grandeur that they need to follow along with a problematic with a problematic way of life to survive. Some feel they need to do that, but it's definitely not the only solution. And Joey is basically doing his best to pitch that idea here. And definitely carries a lot of self-awareness on here, saying that, like, he has the gun for survival tactics, not because it's fancy. You know, definitely not glorifying it. Also, I do love the pitch shift at the end. The natural pitch shift. This is natural. This is not, no, flavorless studio trickery. Like, they say, like, coming through with thoughtful bars, like, they say we crazy and delirious, addicted to drugs, I'm just living it up. I put a limit on none. Pull my thoughts, let it run. Drown in emo oceans, swim in the outcome. Super thoughtful bars on here. And there are moments that sound very rich, very lavish, very jazzy, with super hornback samples from Kirk Knight, as Joey raps about success and ambition to his art. Or Heads High, where he raps about people embracing the street life and it not hugging back. It's not giving the same energy that they're giving, not giving the same love to it that they're giving. But also embracing the mentality of staying strong in the process. And we also get like hard-hitting moments on here that made me tear up a few times. Like, every time I hear it, I can't help getting choked up whenever I hear a track like Survivor's Guilt, where he raps about the loss of Capital Steez, who was a Pro-Era member, or his cousin, and really giving you this insight that we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for the insight and the thoughts on the loss of Capital Steez. And bars like, yeah, we had some problems, but what brothers don't? Sure, then I caught a little wave, headed back to shore, and that's when he started drowning. So he basically feels the guilt because he basically spent time away from Capital Steez and he felt like he could have helped. So the riches he's obtained, the fortune he's obtained, he definitely feels guilt from that. because he definitely feels like he should be sharing that with Stilo. And the bars about his cousin, man, like very, very gripping, very hard hitting, where he was talking about how his cousin's never going to meet his daughter and how it's just been a very harrowing experience for him. Also, this must be addressed too. There are certainly some duds in the track list, unfortunately, where Chris Brown, of all people, is featured on this thing, and his vocals are so stacked up with auto-tune. It sounds like somebody let fucking bleeding sheeps in the studio having an orgy. Robotic bleeding sheeps in the studio having an orgy. That's how it sounds. It sounds like someone said, well, send in the bleeding sheeps. No, this track could have been sexy, but we need robotic bleeding sheep, so make sure they're having an orgasm too. All right, let's roll. That's how Chris Brown sounds in here. Sorry, that's just my opinion. I'm sorry. And also, Westside Gunn's appearance, very lackluster. I feel like he could have done a lot better on here, in opposed to just giving us the same old with stretching out bars just for the sake of filling. Also, I must address how the beginning of this thing isn't as strong as I would have liked it to be. The ending isn't as strong as I'd like it to be. Granted, I do appreciate how there is live instrumentation at the end. I felt that was very ambitious, but it just doesn't have that impact and finality I was looking for. But overall, I do feel Joey came through with some thoughtful bars on here. I definitely feel like he came through with some slick flows on here. Some risks were definitely taken. But there are some features that are lackluster. And the inconsistency of sticking to one subject, it kind of derails things a little bit. Aside from that, though, good project. I'm feeling a 3.5 Black Hearts on this. What did you guys think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Explain to me your reason. And the Gothic Ghost will return. Joey Badass, 2000. Till we meet again.